So the FMCSA did their summit today. They talked about several issues in the trucking industry. According to Louis Pugh, some of these issues have been going on since 1995. The same exact problems. But we got new players in the ball game, including RSA. The leader of the RSA lost his firstborn child to a trucker that was using his cruise control while there was rush hour traffic and didn't even stop. Now, what does he want? Mandated speed limits throughout all of the trucking industry of 65 miles per hour. But what could possibly go wrong? We're going to talk more about the issues in the trucking industry and the summit, amongst other things, right after this. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Misfit Trucker, and today I watched an hour-long video of the summit, and I will post the link down in the description below. I found it. I was looking all over. All I found was articles about it, but I couldn't find a video, and this guy actually took an hour-long video of the summit. I could have sworn it was going to be a lot longer with more people, but I couldn't find anything else on it. But I was taking notes on it and listening to it, and of course it's the same people. The leader of Swift, the leader of RSA, the Trucking Alliance, or the League of Doom as I like to call them, and then of course the FMCSA and the OIDA. Now the FMCSA, we're pretty much listening to all the issues and figuring out what can we do to make the trucking industry better and safer. What they did not, at least what I could find, talk about is the ELD mandate and how the crash rates have gone up in a 30-year high since 2018. And they're expected to go even higher since in 2019 when those stats come out. What I did hear was the same old thing that we need more safety. We need mandated safety things like in-facing cameras, out-facing cameras, speed limiters. So why is this a bad idea? Let's start with speed limiters. Why are the speed limiters a bad idea? Well, I will go over why speed limiters are a bad idea. But first, let's see why speed limiters are a good idea and how the RSA wants to justify speed limiters, saying it's working in Canada. And I'm also going to counter that on why it's working in Canada and why it won't work in the U.S. Check it out.
With us that their goal is to get the fatality rate down from 0.14 per 100 million miles driven to 0.114. That's about a 20% reduction. Interestingly, in Ontario, where they did a study looking at what's happened since they started requiring their heaviest trucks to use their speed limiters at 65 miles per hour in 2009, they have experienced a 24% reduction in fatalities and crashes involving heavy commercial vehicles.
All right. So he explains in Ontario, Canada, that speed limiters are a good thing, that the crash rates have went down. What he did not explain was that Ontario, Canada, has less of a population than the U.S. What he also didn't explain is that a majority of trucking is in the U.S. Hell, Canadians still come down to the U.S. and take stuff back to Canada. Is not as much. So, of course, they're going to see a reduced amount of wrecks, just like every other country out there. But Canada does not have speed limits like what we have. He was mentioning that some part of Canada has like 100 miles per hour speed limit. How many trucks are over there? And then he goes on to talking about, and you guys go into that video around the little thumbnail marker, or around the little marker that you see on that video to see where he's talking about. Talking about that there are no road rage incidences. That the stats, there's no stats showing that people actually hit the back of semi trucks going slower, and that is false. You guys see news articles on them all the time. It happens. Truckers are getting shot over road rage all the time. Cars are hitting slower truckers all the time. We get the bird. We get brake checked due to slow trucks all the time. So yeah, let's just help with the road rage and the BS by putting speed limiters on. Make the public hate us even more. One thing that really bugged me: the debate over ELD mandates. Yes, we're still going in this. Now, September, they're putting out supposedly an easier ELD mandate law. That's going to be happening. But here's an issue. A bombshell academic study on the topic released in February 2019 concluded crashes involving commercial big rigs actually increased after the implementation of the mandate. Researchers at the Northwestern University DeMoore McKim School of Business found that while crashes among megacarrier trucks decreased, crashes among independent owner-operators increased as much as 3.5% and 1.8% for carriers with 2 to 6 trucks. When all the data from large carriers, small carriers, and independent owner-operators was factored together, researchers concluded these numbers do not point to any obvious reduction in accidents due to the ELD mandate. Like I said, when I said this was going to happen, and I'm not right about a lot of things, but this, I just love being able to say, I told you so. In some cases, suggests a possible increase in accidents for those carriers most infected by the mandate. I found it quite funny in this hour-long video, and you guys go watch it yourself. Like I said, the link to that video will be down in the description. It's 1 hour long, but there should be more to it. I thought there was going to be multiple sections going from, what was it, 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. But this is the one part I found, so maybe I missed something. But they don't mention much of the ELD, but they did talk about drug testing. Ah, yes, drug testing. Let's talk about drug testing for a minute. Right now, the current U.S. law is to have a urinalysis for your post-application, like pretty much to get hired, your pre-application, and randoms, and if you get in an accident. One of the guys talking, I think it was one of the mega carrier guys, or one of the people for the ATA, I don't remember, sorry. The video was kind of blurry on the names, I couldn't tell, and he didn't show his face. And saying that studies show that the majority of their drivers that take hair follicle tests and do urinalysis tests, the ones that fail pass the urinalysis, and that there's like a 1.8% fail rate. And according to the clearinghouse, which they did bring that up, if they added their hair follicle fail tests and their clearinghouse data, it would become up to about 18,000 drivers. Now, drivers shouldn't, should not be doing drugs and be on the highway. I have talked about this in several videos. Louis Pugh did not really argue much besides saying some people could show a hair follicle test for 6 months behind when a driver has never been behind the wheel, did some partying, whatever, and then decided to go. But that's not the argument you give. The argument here is some of those tests, just like UAs, can be flawed and pricey. Very pricey. The hair test is a lot more pricier than a UA test. But in conclusion, guys, there's more safety things being said. The one we got to really worry about, though, is this trucking alliance, because they're wanting the installation of ELDs in all large commercial trucks. They're wanting speed limiters to be mandated in all big rigs and set to a maximum truck speed limit of 65 to 70 miles per hour. They want motor carriers to be required to maintain property and liability insurance greater than federal minimum level so that victims of large truck crashes can be fairly compensated for medical and other expenses. They want the adoption, or the adoption and of advanced driver assistance programs. Now, they did talk about that a lot in the video, talking about how these systems can prevent accidents and blah blah blah, such as lane departure warning systems, forward collision mitigation systems, automatic emergency braking systems. That's the AEB. They talk a lot about that, and both forward-facing and in-cab facing cameras, which eventually, there's a driver I know that used to work for one of these camera companies. I would like to interview one of these days. I keep stalling or forgetting, and I just keep putting it off, but I would love to get this done. But anyway, guys, from the people coming from TikTok to this video, told you all I'd keep it short and sweet to the best of my ability. There's a lot more I want to do in this video. There's a lot more on this topic I want to talk about, but hey, give this video a like for what it is. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button so we can get more into trucking news, skits, comedy, vlogs. I do it all, and sometimes your occasional drama. If y'all enjoyed it, though, please, like I said, leave a like. And comment down below. Are they pushing for too much in the trucking industry? What do you think? Y'all be safe out there. Keep the rubber side down. I'll catch you on the next trip. Misfit Trucker, out.